Hello, home bosses. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to promote your books on social media. This is something that people ask me a lot about, and they're saying, well, I'm promoting on social media and I'm not getting any sales. And I just wanted to explain to you how that all works a little bit, because I've heard people say they try to promote their books in Facebook groups and they were thrown out of the group and things like that. And that is because you can't just promote your book anywhere. You have to be a little bit specific where you're promoting your books. So let's talk about promoting your books on social media today, and I hope that helps you a little bit. First of all, where shall I start? Well, don't promote your books on your personal Facebook page or on your Twitter page or your personal social media where you only have friends and family as followers, because your friends and family are not your audience for your book. Yes, they might buy some copies of your book to help you out, but they're doing that because they care about you, and your friends and family is a very small circle of people. What you want to do is you want to reach out to the whole world and reach the biggest audience that you can reach. And of course, your friends and family is limited. You're not going to suddenly make 2,000 more friends, but if you're promoting in the right places, you can reach thousands of people rather than reaching your immediate friends and family. And the way to do that is, first of all, to find groups or pages that talk about the subject of your book. So I see that very often in my own group, in the Home Boss group. I see people promoting their books in there. And really, that is the wrong place to promote your books, because we're all book creators in the Home Boss group. That is the Facebook group that I run. And we're not your audience because we're your competition. Everyone in that group is creating books. So we're not looking to buy books. We're looking to create books. And the only thing that's going to happen is that people are going to steal your idea if you promote your book in my group. So this is one of the reasons why I don't let people promote books in the group. It's different if they upload a book because they've just produced a book and they want feedback on the cover, or they want to just see what people think about the book. If they have specific questions, like, for example, what do you think of my cover? What do you think of my book description? Or what do you think of my sales page? That's okay, because we're giving constructive criticism. But if somebody promotes their book in my group and says, buy my book, then I tend to remove those, because, we're not there to buy books. We're there to learn from each other. And I see a lot of people do that in other groups as well. I don't know, maybe they have created a book and they go into a group on Facebook, a random group, and they say, check out my book. That is the wrong way to do it. The minimum you have to do is you have to find a group that is actually all about the topic of your book. So, for example, if you are creating a book that's all about knitting patterns, for example, then you would go into a knitting group, but you don't go in there and say, here's my book, buy it. That is the wrong thing to do. You have to first of all, build a relationship with people in the group. So what you do is you just join the group and you start commenting on other people's posts, and you don't talk about your book at all. You comment on other things, and you start building friendships in that group, because it should be a group that is about the topic of your book, which means that it's about a topic that you're interested in. So that's how you, first of all, get into those groups and get to know people in the group, and get the people that in the group to know you as well. You have to build a relationship. Once you've built a relationship, you don't just say, oh, by the way, I wrote a book. Here's my book. Go and buy it. That is the wrong thing to do. People get really put off by things like that. And I wouldn't do that. The real secret to promoting your books in Facebook groups or on Facebook pages is to build trust with people. They have to get to know you first before they buy your book. Because when people like you and they relate to you, it's a lot easier to then say, oh, by the way, I've written a book about the subject. Because then it's not about selling your book, it's about you and telling people what you've done and something that you have created. And the way to build that trust is, for example, you could say, I'm putting together a fun book about knitting patterns. Quick question, would you prefer this or would you prefer that in a knitting pattern book? Something like that. So you're looking for something that is to do with the subject and you're asking people questions about it. And then obviously you're waiting for the replies and see what people say. And sometimes that can be really valuable information before you even create your book. Another example I can think of, I've recently promoted a software that creates coupon books. So, for example, you can go into a Facebook group and then say something like, I'm putting together a fun couples coupon book for date nights. And one quick question, would you prefer a surprise adventure coupon or a lazy Sunday together coupon book? So you are kind of getting people to answer a question and you're getting them interested, and you can see if people are even interested, because they might not be interested in your book. But if you feel that you're getting a response, you can really see that people are interested. And if you are doing that before you even write your book, so much the better, because then you're getting an idea on what to include in your book, and you're already starting to build a small audience for when your book eventually gets published. And then you can say, guess what, people, I have published my book. Thank you so much for helping me with all the questions that I had for you. So that is how you would promote a book. You'd never promote by saying, this is my book, please buy it. Who are you? People think, why should I buy your book? There's no connection there. So you build a connection first. Or, for example, you're in a group that's all about cat lovers. They really like cats. And nothing to do with books. So how can you promote your book? First of all, you need to be in that group for a little while and make connections, comment on certain things, show pictures of your own cats, if that's what people are doing in the group. And once you've been in the group for a little while, then you can say, I'm just creating this book about cats, and it's a coloring book. And what do you think about the idea of a cat coloring book? Would you prefer there to be just pictures of only cats in it, or would you like floral designs to go with it? What do you think of this page that I've created? So you're starting a conversation and slowly letting people know what you're doing. You're creating a cat coloring book. And hopefully from the replies, again, you can see whether people are interested or not. And you can get really good ideas from people to help you create your book. And then once you publish your book, again, you can say, by the way, guys, I've published my book. Thank you for all your help. And you've been part of creating this lovely book. So that is how you get people involved. And that is the best way to promote your book in pages that are not your own page, because this is the other thing. The other thing you can do is you can create your own group and your own pages, and then you can talk about your book as much as you like because it's your group. But if you're going into other people's groups, you're probably getting your promotional posts shut down, or you might even be thrown out of the group if you start promoting without building a relationship first. So if you are creating your own group, the other advice I would give you is also don't start by promoting your book straight away. Don't create a group and then just promote your own book. People want to be part of a group where they can contribute as well, where they have a say in things. So if you are creating a cat coloring book, you can create a group that is all about cat coloring books. But don't just start with your book. Start by having funny memes about cats or funny stories about cats. So start building a relationship that is not just about promoting your coloring book. There has to be other content. And I would say that the content should be like an 80-20 ratio. So 80% should be something completely unrelated to your book, and 20% should be about your book. So just a small amount of posts should be promotional posts, because people don't want to be sold to all the time. So it's a little bit tricky, because obviously you've created something that you want people to know about, and all you want to do is really tell people, look at my book. But it's the wrong thing to do, because you can alienate people and they're not going to be as interested in your book as you think at the beginning. It's your book, it's your baby, you're really interested in it, but other people are not as connected to your book. So they need to be guided into it gently, and they need to have a connection with you. So you need to post a lot of other things before you show people your book. And if you're creating a prompted journal, for example, or you're creating any type of journal, there are lots of journaling groups on Facebook. And how would you promote your book in there? Well, you could say things like, you could create a post that says something like, one thing that helped me stick to journaling was using daily prompts. And that's why I created a journal with simple prompts that make it easier. Here's a page for today. What made you smile today? And feel free to answer below. And you can ask people, what made you smile today? So you're kind of introducing your prompted journal, but you're not saying, this is my book, please buy it. You're kind of just telling them about it. And that's a better way to sell. And if you're in kids' picture book groups, for example, don't join groups of other children's book authors. You don't want to sell in there. You want to sell to people who are reading books. So you want to join groups where people like to read children's books and they like to discuss children's books. Those are the groups that you should promote your own book in. And like I said, don't start by promoting your books, because then you'll quickly get thrown out of the group, or people won't like what you're posting. You have to start slowly. You have to make a connection in the group, start commenting on other people's posts, and then when you think the time is ready to kind of promote your book, you can say something like, oh, by the way, I'm working on a new kid's story about a brave little fox who loves exploring. What was your favorite adventure story when you were a kid? And people might comment on that and say, oh, you're writing a book, then you can start talking about it, and that is promoting your book in effect. So you really want to start with something completely different that's not promoting your book. And that is the way to promote in Facebook groups and in general on social media. You don't want to say, here's my book, please buy it. You want to create a connection. And that is why promoting on social media takes a long time. It takes time to build an audience, and it takes time to build email lists, and it takes time to do any of those type of promotions. That's why promoting for free is kind of like trading in money for time, because when you're promoting through adverts, it's very quick. You can have your advert out in a day, but you're spending money on that advert. Whereas if you're promoting in social media posts, and any free promotion takes time, because basically with ads, you're paying to save time. You're paying because your advert is out instantly. Whereas promoting on social media or promoting through an email list, it takes a long time to build your audience. It can take a year even. But if you start today, by this time next year, you will have an audience that you can promote to regularly. And that is the advantage of having an email list, of promoting on social media. Even though it takes time, it's such a good way to promote your books. So I really encourage you that you start building that social media following, and that you start building your email list. And that way, in time, you have a really good system and a strategy that helps you promote your books. So the type of groups that you can follow on Facebook to promote your books are things like interest groups. So it's not people who are making books as well, because I see that all the time in my group and in other people's groups that are all about KDP publishing. People keep promoting their books in those groups. That's not the place you want to promote. You want to find interest groups. So if you're creating books about children, you want to join parenting groups, hobby groups or activity groups that match your book theme. So it has to be about the topic that your book is about. So there are hobby communities, there are niche fan pages or groups. So if you are writing fiction books, for example, and you're writing cozy mysteries as an example, you can join cozy mystery groups. Or if you're writing sci-fi books, you can join sci-fi groups. If you're writing educational books or you're creating educational low content books, go into homeschooling groups or into early learning communities, that kind of thing. So it is about hitting the right groups, hitting the right audience. Think about your audience always. If you're promoting anywhere, think about who is in that group. Are they interested in the type of book that I'm creating? There's no point creating a kid's educational book and then advertising it or promoting it in a fiction novel group, because that's not your audience. So now you've got two things you can do. You can either join groups on Facebook that are to do with the niche you have created your book in, or you can create your own Facebook group, and that is another way to do it. And I know you're thinking, well, I haven't got an audience. I'm just going to post and there's nobody following me. That's how we all start. I started with 0 followers on YouTube. I started with 0 followers on Facebook. You have to start somewhere. And yes, it feels a bit strange when you've only got 1 or 2 followers that are your friends and family, but it slowly builds and more people will join, and you just have to be patient and just keep posting interesting things that help people. If you're creating posts that are helpful to people, you build a following a lot quicker than if you're just posting promoting your book. So those are a few tips for you on how to promote your books on social media. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's given you something to think about. Let me know what you do on social media. How do you promote your books? Or have you not promoted your books on social media at all and you're just thinking about it? I'd love to hear your story. And if you find this video helpful, please subscribe and like. And I'm really grateful you joined me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.